So I almost fell into the same trap as I did last year, which is doing nothing for 3 months. But we gotta get this done. So I finally got the material to take care of this. And that. I'm putting wood over this, so it doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but this is exactly why I can't just paint it. The only other option that I can think of to be able to paint this flat is to remove all of this lath and plaster and replace it with drywall, which I'm not gonna do because this is an exterior wall and it is filled with insulation. So you do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna use beadboard. There is beadboard elsewhere in the house. It's in a really small area, but presumably it's original. So it's not like this doesn't make sense. And I am using the actual wood like pieces rather than whatever this stuff was. I did use this in the bathroom, so like I'm not knocking it, but for something like this with the angle here, it would be a lot easier to cut the pieces than one big sheet. So I'm gonna clean this up, knock down the rest of this fuzz, clean up the edges, and then figure out where to start. Okay, and I think that's the biggest mess that I have to make for this until I get to that end, because that cabinet sticks out further than I want the new one to. I'm just gonna leave a space there. The nice thing about doing the beadboard pieces instead of a big sheet also is that I can just not do that end. I'm gonna start in this corner. I feel like that'll be the easiest part, easiest way to do it, and kind of get like the angle set up on the miter saw for the staircase, and then just use the previous piece to measure for the new piece, and I hope that'll work. Let's see. I think I have enough now that I'm just gonna start tacking them up. I'm gonna run a bead of wood glue in the tongue and groove part of it, so that everything stays nice and locked together, but it looks like it's gonna be just what I want. A little bit of progress since yesterday. I ripped down an extra piece of that beadboard to 1 bead thick, stuck it up there to cover those giant gaps, and then beat a caulk around everything. I probably have to touch up a few spots, but then the next thing will be this. This is where the sink used to be, right under this window, and it was sometime in the 50s that they did that, and they used one of those metal cabinets. It was bad. So we replaced it at some point with just like a band-aid. Just a new cabinet, but not permanent. And when we did that, we found that the old cabinet, the old plumbing, had ruined the floor. Thankfully not the subfloor, but the floorboards had to be ripped out, and so we put this piece of plywood here for now, for then, because now it's coming out. In this room and upstairs, it's all Douglas fir flooring. I learned recently, it's a softwood, but also a hardwood. It's like somewhere in between. After 25 years, it's classified as a hardwood, which is cool. So technically I have hardwood floors everywhere, like hardwood. Anyway, I had to get a few extra pieces to fit in the spot. However, in order to make that happen, I have to pull out what's in here. And probably another floorboard because it is also not in good shape. I bought 4 full-size pieces, so I have plenty. But it's just gonna be, I've never done this. A little bit damaged, but nobody steps there. I think it'll be whatever. Trash. Trash. Okay, so it looks like over here the boards run up into this. So I should just be able to cut it over here. Actually, I could cut it like right here, because that's not too terrible. That's what I'm trying to do. Yes. Okay, so these are a little bit tiny bit smaller than this. Like, that's maybe 1/8 of an inch. Which means there will be a gap, but you know, it's better than this. And what are you gonna do? Not much. And once this comes out and I put the new one up, I have just a little bit of original baseboard that will go along here, and it'll cover up any little bits of gaps. I'm gonna go find my wood filler so that I can fill out all the little divots in here from the nailer, the cracks in the floor, and then we can let that dry. Progress update. We had primed after filling all the nail holes and tested out a stain. So we've got this water-based polyurethane, and I tried that right there, and it did no color change at all. And I also tested it on that side of that, which is that. And then, since there was no color change, and I'm trying to get it to match this, I'm trying just a little bit of this red mahogany, and that is pretty close. I think it's close enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and just paint this. I'm gonna paint it the same color as the lower cabinets, and then see how well it covers, if it needs another coat. And then probably tomorrow I'll deal with all this, because it needs sanded the rest of the way. Oh yeah, that looks nice and crisp. I painted all the stair treads too, because why not? So I think I'm gonna paint this black. It's been that color for 10 years, so ignore my face. I had my dust mask on because I sanded all that and stained it. And I think it looks pretty good. I mean, obviously it's different. It doesn't exactly match this, but it's a lot closer than I thought I'd get with a single stain, so I'm pretty happy with it. We gotta leave this alone for 8 hours, according to the can, and then I can go over it with some kind of protective finish. I'm just gonna use what I have, which is Varathane. I like the color. I think it helps disguise the fact that those back 3 are new, and also this little bit of water stain. I think there's some over there too. think I might end up using that color over the whole floor when I go and do that, because currently the countertop is a little bit too close to the floor color, so unintentional. It's just the colors. That's, I mean, the floor is probably shellacked, so something with a very orange amber tone to it, and it doesn't have to be. This blue has been here for like 10 years, and it has served its purpose. It was necessary because it was that blue everywhere. But I think it's run its course, so I'm gonna paint it black. So is it done? No. Is it good? Is it like a good job? Also no. But is it better? Yeah, I think that's a subjective answer, because I don't think a lot of people, this combo probably won't appeal to a lot of people, but I like it. And I think this is the same color as the lower cabinets, and they look like completely different colors, because that side where the cabinets are, it's only surrounded by basically that color black, the appliances, and the wood tone of the countertops. So it looks a lot lighter on the cabinets. And over here, it's surrounded by white. And it's also the wall with the window, which shadowed. But I think that's pretty cool. Next steps, I guess, in here, before I get to that cabinet. So I can go down here. And then, yeah, cabinets. I gotta do floor to ceiling here, and then one for baking supplies above here. And all the trim and everything that goes with that. Also, put your vote in for what color the door should be, because I realized I took all the color out of here by painting the blue black. So now it's all neutrals. And I have nothing against neutrals, but I like a color. So the door would be an easy way to add a little bit to it. It's gotta be blue or green. Those are my colors, that's my scheme. So maybe like a sage green, or like a faded denim blue, but I'm worried about that one because it might be too close to that color, which I don't want again. So like, put your votes in, because I have not decided. Maybe like an apple green even would be really neat. If it was like a kind of a dusty apple green, that'd be all right. So let me know. Next step is cabinets, and I'm gonna have to do that soon because it is about to cool down. I'm very excited for that. So I can build them all outside. And then I'll be able to finish the trim for over here and have somewhere to put all the stuff. But that will be another video. Thank you for watching. See you then.